Chapter 3. Matt found the housekeeper sitting stiffly on a worn floral chair in the corner of the motel office, hands folded tightly around a crumpled tissue and a cheap Android phone. Her back was rigid, eyes wide and wet. Early 20s, maybe. "You speak English?" Matt asked gently, holding up his badge. She nodded once, quickly. "Yes. Juanita, right?" She nodded again. "Juanita Gomez." Matt unclipped a compact body camera from his belt and attached it to the front of his shirt. "Just so we're clear, this records everything. It's for both of us." She gave a small nod, eyes flicking to the device, then back to his face. Matt took the seat across from her. "I'm Special Agent Matt Berry with the TBI. I want to ask you a few questions. You're not in trouble, okay?" She glanced past him toward the hallway, then back to his face. "Okay. You found the body?" "I knocked," she said. No answer. "So I went in. I thought it would be quick, that no one used the room. The bed looked clean, like someone checked in and never stayed. That happens sometimes." She gripped the tissue harder. "And then I saw the head." Her voice cracked on the last word. "You did the right thing," Matt said. "Go on. I know it's hard." Juanita looked down at the phone in her lap. "At first, I thought it was a prank, like a Halloween decoration or something. But it wasn't." Her breath hitched. "I screamed. I ran out." "Did you touch anything in the room? Anything at all?" She shook her head violently. "Number nothing?" Matt nodded toward the phone. "Did you take any pictures?" "No." She blinked hard, clearly trying not to cry again. "I just ran out and called Mr. Sam." "What time did you go into the room?" She sniffled. 11:30, maybe a little before. I cleaned 102 and 103 first. Checkout is at 10 a.m. I heard someone in 101, TV or something. So I went to 104 next." Matt made a note. "What time did your shift start?" 5 a.m. I help with breakfast. It starts at 6. She pointed toward the adjacent room. "The buffet." Matt glanced toward the dining area. Waffle maker, juice machine, 2 cereal dispensers, and 6 tables in the center. "So you helped with breakfast and then started cleaning rooms as people checked out?" "Yes." She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "I always start on that side." "Did you recognize the deceased?" "No." "Have you ever seen him before?" "Never." "Did you see him check in?" "No." "Did you see anyone go in or out of room 104? Matt asked. Juanita shook her head. "No." "Do high school kids ever rent rooms here?" "For parties," and she said. "The manager tries not to rent to them. The high school kids, I mean." "Why's that?" "The mess they leave. You have no idea how gross those rooms can get." Matt studied her for a moment. Her breathing had slowed, and her hands were no longer shaking. "You did everything right, Juanita. Just sit tight for a little while. Someone will follow up with you later, okay?" She nodded again. Joe arrived just as Matt was wrapping up with Juanita. He gave Matt a quick nod before approaching the front desk clerk. "Thank you for your help, Juanita," Matt said, handing her his card. "If you remember anything else, anything at all, please call me directly." The young woman nodded, clutching the card tightly. "I hope you catch whoever did this," she whispered before making a hasty exit. Matt joined Joe at the front desk where a young man in his mid-20s stood nervously behind the counter. He wore a navy blue blazer with the motel's logo embroidered on the breast pocket, his black hair neatly combed and parted. "This is Sam Patel, the night manager," Joe said to Matt, and then pointed at a flat-screen monitor mounted behind the desk. "Where's the tape?" The clerk adjusted his glasses. "Tape? No tape. It's digital. We upgraded last year. Everything's stored on a hard drive now." Matt glanced at the name tag pinned to the clerk's shirt. Samir Patel. Sam for short, he figured. "Let's take a look," Joe said, sliding a paper across the counter toward Matt. "Check-in contract." While Sam bent over the machine, navigating menus with practiced fingers, Matt studied the form. His eyes fell on the signature at the bottom, Raymond Merrick. A copy of Raymond's Texas driver license was stapled to the top corner. The photo matched the head on the dresser. Matt tapped the time stamped at the top. "What's this?" Sam leaned over, still half focused on the monitor. "Timestamp," We always record the exact check-in time. The mark read 2:04 p.m. Here it is, Sam announced, stepping back from the monitor where he'd pulled up the security footage. This should show the check-in. The monitor flickered, then played back a grainy but serviceable color feed of the lobby. The video showed Raymond Merrick walking in wearing jeans, a pink polo shirt, and a half-cocked grin. Without audio, they observed the silent interaction. Marek smiled broadly at someone behind the counter, a young Indian woman with long dark hair tied back in a neat bun. She smiled back, her posture changing subtly as she leaned forward. Even without sound, the flirtatious nature of their exchange was obvious. Merrick said something that made the woman laugh, tucking her hair behind her ear with a practiced gesture. As she processed his information, their conversation continued with lingering eye contact that went beyond professional courtesy. At one point, the girl scribbled something on a small piece of paper and slid it across the counter to Marek. He read it, smiled, and pocketed it with a wink in her direction. The check-in process concluded, and Merrick walked away with his room key, glancing back once more before exiting the frame. Joe folded his arms. Well, that's cozy. Matt kept his eyes on the screen but didn't miss the way Sam's features darkened. Who's the girl? Matt asked, turning away from the screen. Sam's head snapped toward him, his expression tight, caught off guard like he'd forgotten they were watching. My sister, he said flatly. Joe raised an eyebrow. We'll need to talk to her. Sam stiffened. She didn't do anything wrong. We're not saying she did, Matt said, but she was the last known person to speak with Merrick. We need to hear what she remembers. Joe stepped in. Her name, address, cell number dot. Sam hesitated just long enough to consider pushing back, but the two badges across the counter convinced him otherwise. He sighed, opened a drawer, and pulled out a notepad. Her name is Priya. I'll write it down. After taking Priya's name, address, and phone number, Matt asked, Have you ever seen the kid in the video before? Sam shook his head. Never. Matt ran Sam through the same questions he'd asked Juanita and got the same responses. He also walked through Sam's whereabouts the day before. Sam said he'd either been at school, at home, or working at the motel. Matt pointed at the now blank screen. I understand it is the motel's policy not to rent to high school kids. Sam nodded. Yes. So why was Raymond Merrick given a room? The policy is not to rent the rooms for parties, Sam explained. Ray Wilson, chief of the Vista Ridge Police Department, arrived on scene just as Matt and Joe finished with Sam Patel. Chief Wilson was tall, gray-haired, and still fit in his mid-50s. He made a beeline for Joe and Matt. Bring me up to speed, he said. Joe summarized. The victim is Cal Merrick's kid, Raymond. He's been decapitated and the body is staged. His genitals are missing. No blood at the scene. He checked in yesterday afternoon. Room shows no signs of struggle, and no witnesses have come forward yet. The TBI assisting? Chief Wilson asked, eyes shifting to Matt. I need to clear it with my lieutenant, Matt replied. But under the circumstances, I don't anticipate any pushback. Do it. I'm going to look at the body. Cal Merrick's going to want answers. And fast. Wilson's jaw tightened as his gaze drifted toward room 104. Joe looked toward the patrol units lining the lot. Are you going to make the notification? Chief Wilson exhaled slowly. Yeah, I've known Cal and his wife a long time. He'll hear it from me. Want us to tag along? Joe asked. We'll need to talk to them anyway. Not for the notification, Wilson said. He stared at room 104 for a long moment, then back to Matt and Joe. Start your canvass here. Talk to everyone, guests, cleaning staff, anyone in the lobby yesterday. Pull extra units if you need them. It's all hands on deck. He turned to Matt. Who's your lieutenant? Rachel Gaines, Matt said, pulling out a card and handing it to him. Wilson pocketed the card. I'll make the call. You two get to work. A question if I can, Chief, Matt said. Go, Wilson said. You knew it was Merrick. That's why you're here. Who called you? Matt asked. I have my sources. Is there going to be someone on this team who is leaking everything to the press? Matt asked bluntly. No sense dancing around it. He hated the press. If he ever made his list of the vilest institutions, they'd be near the top. Don't worry about the press, Wilson said, spun on his heels and strode toward 104. Joe chuckled. You're a fucking charmer, Matt. It's my curse. There she is, Joe said, tipping his chin toward a patrol unit parked near the end of the lot. Officer Clara Bow. I think she wrapped her rookie year last week. No complaints so far. Seems solid. Officer Bow stood leaning against the driver's side door of her cruiser, arms folded, weight shifted to one hip. Young, early 20s maybe, and still fresh-faced in that way that said she hadn't seen too much yet. Her uniform was crisp, hair pulled into a tight braid, boots clean and polished. She looked squared away, but her eyes were a little too wide, and she didn't seem quite sure what to do with her hands. Matt recognized the posture. She was holding it together, but barely. You okay? Joe asked as they approached. Clara straightened, then gave a small nod. I've seen bad stuff at Rex, but that... She glanced toward room 104. That creeped me out. The way the head's just staring back at the body. I'm gonna have nightmares about that. Joe nodded. This is Special Agent Matt Berry with the TBI. He's assisting on the case. Matt offered a hand. She shook it, firm grip, trying not to show the tremor in her fingers. Can you walk us through what happened when you got the call? Matt asked. Yeah, Clara took a breath. I was on patrol, slow shift. Dispatch called in a report of a possible deceased person at the Restway Inn. No details, just a body. Could have been a heart attack, overdose, maybe a fight. I got here, made contact with the manager, Sam Patel, in the office. She paused, her eyes flicking again toward the room. The maid was a mess, crying, shaking. I tried to calm her down, then checked the room. One look and I called for backup. Didn't even step inside. Just saw the chair, the head, the whole setup. I stepped out and kept everyone back until more units arrived. Matt watched her carefully. You did the right thing. Thanks, she said quietly. What about Sam? Joe asked. How'd he seem when you spoke to him? Clara's brow furrowed. Now that you mention it, kind of weird. He wasn't panicked. If there was a head in one of my rooms, I'd be bouncing off the walls. He was calm, more irritated than anything. Irritated how? Matt asked. He was trying to get the maid to quiet down, kept glancing at the lobby like he didn't want the guests to overhear. Didn't say much to me, just told me the room number and asked how long we'd be here. Did he make any statements? Number just seemed annoyed. He was mostly worried about how this would affect his business. Didn't ask about the victim. Didn't seem shocked either. Not like someone who just found out there was a decapitated body on the property. Matt nodded slowly. Thanks, officer. You did everything right. We'll have more questions later, but that helps. Clara exhaled, visibly relieved. Of course. As they stepped away, Joe waited until they were out of earshot. What are you thinking? Matt kept his voice low. Did you catch the look on Sam's face when Merrick was flirting with his sister in the video? Yeah, he didn't like it. So maybe Sam finds out what Marek did, or thinks he did, and snaps. Maybe he waits, finds his moment, kills him, and stages the body. Joe arched a brow. That's a hell of a leap. He'd have to get Merrick into that room, cut him up somewhere else, clean everything, then haul the body in and pose it, without anyone noticing. I'm not saying it's probable, Matt said. Just that it's not off the table. His reaction was off. No fear, no shock, just irritation. Joe looked back toward the office. Weak. Matt nodded. Yeah,